Mandarin. In my last video, 17 minutes of pure yapping, way too much talking. You want to learn Mandarin better? You want to learn quickly? You have to have a concrete plan. I can give you the concrete plan right now. Speed running my last video, just redoing it. So, first stage, right? First stage is roughly till HSK1. You just want to get ground base layer. And I've tried everything. I have tried so many flashcards, okay? So many books, all types, all of these apps, all that stuff, right? You want to build up over time. When you're getting into it, sure, feel free to just watch a bunch of TED-Ed videos about how the language works. But this stage is deciding whether you really want to learn Mandarin or not. Same as any language. First stage, roughly 100 to 200 vocab words. For HSK, the first HSK level ends at 150 vocab words. But whatever the case, roughly, when you're done with a third of the modules in the app HelloChinese, which I recommend to start and to continue, will be best for you. Don't get premium until you're like in the later stages for anything. Don't buy anything until you really know you're going to be learning this long term. Okay, so roughly 150 vocab words. You can use flashcards. You can use the Anki app for that. As for there's an HSK1 Anki deck. Just search that up on the internet, download it, and then import it into your Anki deck. For Android, it's free. For Apple, I don't think it's free. Get that. Do HSK1 flashcards. Do HelloChinese until that level. And then there's another app called ChineseImmersion, which you can start using for the first few levels. Also free for the first bit. Just start using it. It's so to train you that you can hear it properly. Because hearing is going to be one of the hardest things if you're speaking from a Western country and speak a Western country's language. That is, even if you're speaking Hindi or if you're speaking Russian, it's still super different. Or even if you're speaking Japanese, Mandarin is just so different from most of the things surrounding it. So you really want to get that tonal system hearing. Don't worry about writing the characters down. I did this way too much. I mean, stacks and stacks and stacks. That's Spanish. How did that get in there? Okay, but stacks and stacks, okay? You don't need to do that. It's a waste of time. You're going to learn something, but it's not going to be efficient. Second stage is once you're roughly at HSK1. Once you're roughly 1/3 of the modules are done. Once roughly you know 90% of the HSK1 vocabulary, and you kind of know that you really want to learn it. You want to learn it, okay? You really want to learn it, and you know it now. Okay, the next stage. So at this second stage, you have mostly everything you need. Just keep going. Instead of doing HSK1 vocabulary on Anki, Droid, or Anki, or Anki, however you pronounce it, whatever app you're using, there's also a web version, or other flashcard apps, doesn't matter. You're gonna now, instead of doing HSK1, you're gonna do HSK2. You're gonna continue doing HelloChinese. Maybe you're gonna start the stories in HSK on HelloChinese on the app. But now you're also gonna do another app called Do Chinese, DU Chinese, and it's a great story app. Here, I'll show you what it looks like. Maybe I'll do a video on each of them, but you'll have this homepage. You'll have the homepage, then you'll have stories. It'll translate it for you. You can save the individual words. It's like story learning, which actually is already, I think that's trademarked. And then it also has its own flashcard section in the back, so that this way you're actually learning what you're seeing and you can comprehend how it's used, which is going to be the first step towards immersion. True immersion is going to come at the third step. But again, you can get that app. You can I'm not a fan of Duolingo for Mandarin at all, but if you really want to get Duolingo and it helps you stay consistent, go ahead. The most important thing is you have a habit so that you keep learning Mandarin and you don't go on and off and stop, and that you actually learn something, that you're not just wasting your time making dozens and dozens of flashcards that aren't actually useful because they were based on Duolingo. And I'm getting off track. The third stage. Now things are really getting fun. The transition point between the second and third stage is not quite as clear as with the first and second. when you start getting comfortable with reading from the app, I would say this is usually if you're putting around 30 minutes in a day, which sounds like a lot, okay? But consider that on HelloChinese, you're going to put in around 5 to 10 minutes if you're not just rushing through it. And then also doing the review function. Then on Anki, you're going to spend 5 to 10 minutes. And then on the reading app, you're going to spend another 5 to 10 minutes. And then every now and then you'll do the listening app. So you're going to average out by around 30 minutes. I really suggest doing these things while you go walking. Because while you're walking, your memory is actually going to be better because you're active. You're better at processing things. I forgot the whole Andrew Huberman science behind it. But doing flashcards while you're walking is way more effective, based on science and based on my personal experience, than just doing it while you're sitting in a room or something. Okay. What else? Ah, yes, the third stage. The transition point is when you're really starting to get comfortable with it, which is usually if you're doing around 30 minutes a day, keeping your streaks or whatever you want to call it. I'd say a month or two after it, so it actually goes quite quick. It ramps up quite quickly how much you're going to be learning. And I would recommend getting an app called, at least in the English settings, it's called REDNote, REDNote, and it's gonna look like Chinese social media basically. And it's gonna have videos for Chinese speakers trying to learn English, but you can take that in the reverse as well. The point is that you're hearing it more, you're getting more exposed to it. You also want to start in this third immersion phase using that listening app way more than before. Now, this I've only gotten to the third stage. I haven't gotten to the, really advanced stages yet, but I know that this is the right way because I've been plateauing on and off for so long, and finally I found something that works. So this has to be it. Now, I do know, because I've spoken to quite a lot of Mandarin learners who are quite much further than me, and what they like to do is they do tutoring lessons. They actually talk to real people, whether probably in the start through texting and then through talking. Now, which apps I really like for that, we'll get to that another time because I don't know yet. So we'll get there. But you want to the way you want to do this is you're going to screenshot. You're either going to sit down right away, or you're going to screenshot the different things you see on there, and you're going to use an app called PLECO, PLECO, to translate what you see. You can draw it, you can write the pinyin, you can do all these different things, and then you're going to translate it. Now, this is where having a notebook or something actually will come in handy. Because you're going to write it down, you're going to decipher it, you're going to make your own flashcards. This is really the point where you want to immerse yourself with a purpose, right? Let's say you're going to a Chinese restaurant. Now, assuming that you get lucky and the person speaks standard Mandarin and isn't some old guy without teeth, you're gonna be able to speak to him, assuming you know restaurant vocabulary. You don't just want to go in with 10 units of HelloChinese and the only really useful thing was the unit on food and buying stuff. And now you have 20 or 30 words that you can use, and that's kind of it. Maybe introductions and what's my name. But before you go to a restaurant, you want to, instead of maybe doing the standard HSK3 set, this is going to be the point where just pure vocab, random at the HSK1 to HSK2 level is not going to be enough. Because once you get to HSK3, I really would say reading, texting, listening, and speaking, right? Those are your 4 pillars. And they should all be directed about specific things. Read the stories on the story app about the restaurant. Make your own flashcards about restaurant vocab. Listen to conversations on YouTube. There's something called the ChineseImmersion or Chinese Speak or something. There's YouTube. I'll link it. That also constantly does different things. Look up their stuff on restaurants. Go to HelloChinese. They have a thing on restaurants, okay? Make everything centered around what you want to immerse yourself in, and then actually go out and do it. Whether that's a phone call, whether that's texting with someone, or whether that's actually going to the restaurant in Chinatown of your respective country. Okay, So it's really all about immersion and not just aimlessly learning vocab, but actually using the vocab and learning the vocab in preparation for it. Okay? That's really the goal. Now, of course, you can make yourself a little cheat sheet in your pocket, but I wouldn't rely on it. However, I would definitely take notes afterwards. It's very, very important you take notes after you do actually go out and immerse yourself. You actually go, if you take a video recording, if you're having a Zoom call, record that. It's just, you can look back at it, you can be like, what did they say? Because you can roughly know, right? There's only so many pinyin combinations and vowel combinations and accent mark variations that there's going to be. So try to guess the pinyin, and then maybe it makes sense. And if you're actually going somewhere, like if you're actually going to a restaurant, have a little notepad, have your phone, the notes app in your phone, and put in all the words that you were thinking of. Like, for example, recently I went to a Chinese restaurant, and I wanted to say I only speak a little bit of Chinese. Now in Pimsleur, this is a little bit of Mandarin, a little bit of Putonghua. But in the Pimsleur app, for example, they start off with a little bit right away. They introduce you to how to say a little bit. But I vaguely remembered it from months and months and months ago, completely forgot it. And I was like, it says Yijianyar, but I didn't exactly have the pronunciation or anything like that. So I put it in my phone notes and then I reviewed it. I still don't know what it is because I forgot to actually look it up. But if you do that, and if you actually do the research, then you'll be solid, and it'll be good, and you'll have taken it away. You've taken away something from it. Now, obviously, first of all, the HelloChinese course, do the old course first. Then you can go to the new course later and redo it as both a refresher and because the new course is more detailed. This late stages is where I would say start using, get something for premium. Again, everything you want to do, maintain all other apps, and then choose one app you're really going to do a lot of. So if 1 month you might be doing a whole lot of reading, another month or even a week you might be using this other app a whole lot. 1 week you're really going to focus on flashcards, and another app you're going to really focus on audio. So different focuses, different purposes, but either way, that's it. First stage, you're really getting a grasp of the language. Second stage, you're starting to get a hang of it, and you're just building up vocab and building up grammar structures. Third stage, you're starting to immerse yourself. Now, discipline and consistency is an obvious factor. Now, I would recommend go to a library. Go somewhere where you're usually not. If you're going to do it in your room, study in your room, actually sit down. Maybe put up music if that helps you. I don't know about that. That's your choice. But make sure it's clean. You need a clean environment, or you need a different environment where you don't have internet, where you have nothing, maybe data, but where you have nothing that can distract you. Library is a great example of this. Grab a friend, go to the library, study with them. They can do their homework, whatever, you'll have fun, you'll socialize, you'll do your work, or go alone. If you're going alone, you need someone to hold you accountable. I have a video with a study with me video. Just go there and then put it on, put some music on with it, and write down 3 goals you have for the study session before it, and yeah. And I hope it helps. I was planning to make this video shorter than the last one, and that's almost 11 minutes again. The last one was 17. I mean, it is shorter, but it's only 6 minutes shorter. I was planning to have this like a 5-minute video or something. Anyway, I'm gonna stop yapping. Bye.